Smash Engineering.
Welcome back to this episode of Smash Engineering. Today we're back with the Ford Escape. We're going to be doing a rear pad change, and we'll show you how to do that. I'm not going to change the rotor this time because this rotor is actually good, but I'll show you what to look for and let you know if you should change yours. Let's go ahead and get started. Nice. Dealership didn't touch back here, I can tell. If you're doing this and your lug nut ever gets stuck in there, thread it back on, wobble it. I'm really sorry if the side noise. There's lawn work going on. 'Tis the season. If you take all your lug nuts off and your rim won't come off, it's stuck on there. What you do, make sure your valve stem is not in the danger zone, but you kick this side, and then this side, and then this side, and then this side, until you get it off. Goodness. Goodness. So if your rim's stuck, it will come off. If you don't care about your rim, you can bang on it with a hammer, or you can use your feet. I like using my feet. It's always nice to find glass embedded in your tire. That's always great. Okay. The real important thing I wanted to do, and I did this on purpose, these have an electronic parking brake. And if you start messing around with this without putting it in service mode, it could get real expensive real quick. So, I'll pause here, because if you've made it this far, you need to stop. Because what we need to do now is put it in service mode, and I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, to put it in parking brake service mode, you're gonna put your key in. You're gonna turn the key on, not starting it, just key on. You're gonna pedal down to the floor and parking brake down, okay? And then you're gonna shut the key off, and within 5 seconds, turn the key back on. And that's letting you know that now you're in parking brake service mode. So then I'm gonna go ahead and shut off the key. Take my key out. You'll see this light stays on. That lets you know, hey, you're still in park brake service mode. Or maintenance mode, sorry. Okay? So we're gonna go ahead and continue with the repair. Now, I hope you could hear it on the video. That's why I did it this way. Normally you would do this before you take your tire off, but I wanted you to be able to hear this real clearly, the noise that it's making. All right, so once you got it, that you heard that retract all the way, everything stopped, you're gonna pop these little caps off. You got 2 of them. Flat blade screwdriver works real good for this. Ooh, don't lose them. They do serve a purpose. They keep things from getting corroded in there. So pop those out, and I believe this is a 7. Yep, it's a 7. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there, and we'll pop those loose. That alarmingly was not tight. I really thought it would take more force than that. And on this vehicle, your slide pin is actually attached to the caliper itself. So once you get it out, you're gonna take something and push on that, so you got your slide pin clear. Hopefully this one's a little tighter than that one was. Wow, that's Almost felt like it came easy, too easy. Of course, I don't work on vehicles that's new usually either. Once you get it cleared like that, we're gonna go ahead and, while spinning, we'll push like that. Now, I like to take these out and clean them actually. It's not a bad idea, but these don't feel bad. They still have factory grease on them probably. So I'm gonna go ahead and grease these before I put it all back together, but for now I'm gonna leave them in there like that. I'm gonna get my caliper press tool and I'll be right back. And if you did it right, it should come out just like that. And you can see my pads are worse for wear. Oh my goodness. This did just have a 21-point inspection done. Wow. All right, so without putting any weight on any of this harness, I'm gonna go ahead and retract this piston. Get this up in here. And if you feel any pressure on this, you just don't do it. But it should go in really easy with it in service mode. You see it pushing in, no problemo. And I will warn you, if you're doing this and you're trying to use a C-clamp, don't do it. This motor on the back here is something like $700 for this bracket, or this electronic park brake motor. So I'm gonna go ahead and gently set that down where it's not under its own weight here, because I do not want to damage that. And then it gives me a chance to look at my rotor, feel both sides. Now, this rotor is not glazed. If you've watched my other videos, you'll see that they get glazed, but this actually is in really good shape. It's not glazed, it's not all one smooth mirror finish. It is a solid rotor, so I don't often change solid rotors unless they've got really deep grooves or glazing real bad. So this is just gonna be a simple pad swap. So I always like to look at my old pads, see where they were oriented. I went ahead with these Bendix. I think I got them on Amazon. I got the Ultra Premiums. If you get the Ultra Premiums, they come with this pretty cool little mirror hanger thing. But these pads are cool because, sorry for the background noise, if you look at it, it actually tells you right hand inner. It'll say left hand inner, left hand outer, right hand inner, right hand outer. We're not on the right hand side right now, so we're gonna leave that. We got, that just says outer. Maybe only the inside one matters. Yeah, left hand inner. Like Christmas. Outer. Okay, so the outers are the only ones that are the same, these two. And this one says right hand and left hand inner and outer. And basically, from what I can tell, it just matters where the squeak pad is. Everything else looks identical. So it's just a matter of where the squeak pad is. So if you did mix these up, probably not the end of the world. I actually don't even see a squeak pad on my originals, probably why they weren't warning me that they were bad. But yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the left hand inner because this is the left hand side. And they sit right on this little, they're like insert right in here. It's like super, super easy. And then the other one simply goes right there. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that, folks. You literally take the pad, slam it in there, this pad, you just set it in there. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the caliper back over it, and then I'm gonna pull the caliper pins, wire wheel them, put some fresh grease on them. We'll be good to go. Literally that easy. Actually, I'm gonna, just for keepsake, I'm gonna tighten one of these just a smidge so it doesn't fall off. I do apologize for the background noise. So I got that one just started, I think. You wanna make sure you're not cross-threading these as well. They will only go in one way. The other way will not make your life happy. Okay, so now we got that. We'll go ahead and pop this out. I'm gonna brake clean that. It's got a little bit of grease going bad there and corrosion starting. So we're gonna get rid of that, and I'll be right back. All right, so I got my organic grease here. I'm gonna go ahead and put about 1.1 grams to be precisely accurate here. You don't wanna use 1.2 or 1.1, under 1.1. You wanna use exact, I'm just kidding. I probably put way too much on there. I'm just re-greasing this with the stuff that it came with. And then I'm gonna push it into this little spot here. Okay, and then before I put that in, I'm gonna anti-seize that, just because I don't know how long it'll be before the next time I do these brakes. Hopefully they last a good long while. I'll put a little bit on there. And now because I have this one started, this one should be fairly lined up. So we'll just make sure we center it. I can even start it by hand just to be safe. Oh, look at that. Going right in by hand. I'm not gonna snug it all the way down. And then I'm gonna take this one out now. You'll feel it kind of pop loose. You can get it out. And then we'll clean that one off as well. It's looking pretty rough. It should look like that pretty much all the way around. Got a little bit of brake clean here. Just go ahead and spray it off. Nothing serious. Take a little bit of Scotch-Brite. And it gets kind of hard to hold because it's a thing, so I put this back in there. And then I pinch the Scotch-Brite around it, and I just let the ratchet do the work. Now notice I'm not doing the threads, I'm only doing the body of the piece here. Whatever method you have, you know, do you, boo-boo. And then if you do it right, it'll come out looking pretty much new. I got a few little spots there I'm gonna kind of hyper focus on. We're gonna get that. And some people would say, why would you even mess with that? It's there. Clearly they were fine. Well, they're fine now, but another 70,000 or so miles on them, and who knows what they might look like. This time I'm gonna go ahead and put the, sorry, just had a bug fly in my mouth. I'm gonna go ahead and put the anti-seize on first. Just a little dab there, or not. There we go, a little dab. And the main reason I'm anti-seizing these, if you look, the end of the bolt is exposed to the weather. So all the dirt and grime and dust and salt gets right in there on your threads. So if you want, take a dab of grease over that, you know, or dab of something. I might put a dab of silicone on that or something if I were carrying a little more. Luckily I'm not carrying. So I'm gonna put that 1.1 ounces on there. And get it pretty well spread out. And then I'm gonna put this right back in there, like that. And with any luck, I can start it by hand now. I see it threading in, so I'm not worried about it cross threading. Now, I can go ahead and torque these down. Do not snap these off. It won't be a fun day. Check your torque specs, torque them. For video and time's sake, I'm not going to. I will go back and torque these later. But just to show you how to do it, that's how you do it. Now, one thing I noticed with my pads, they were wearing, I don't know if you can pick that up, but they were wearing really unevenly. This side over here is much thinner. That's actually a good way to do it. That side there is much thinner than this side here. And it actually even goes at an angle, a weird angle. The back has it too, not as bad, but on the flip. So it's thicker here, thinner here. This one's thicker here, thinner. The reason is, I didn't notice it when I first took this off, but the new kit came with them. The retaining bracket or balancing bracket or whatever you want to call these, they're both identical, so it really doesn't matter, is missing. I don't know if it's missing on the other side, but it's missing on this side. And what this does is it pulls the caliper, so that goes on there. It pulls the caliper down into place for the whole setup here. So if I can look earlier in the video when I took my wheel off, I didn't have one of these on there. Now we do. What it does is it pulls down on the caliper quite a bit and actually leveled the caliper out quite a bit, because our caliper, without noticing it, was actually tipped back. Now, I didn't notice any issues with braking at all. Like, it felt completely fine, but it's obviously supposed to be there. Other thing is, don't forget to reinstall your caps here. Like that, okay? So, oh, while I had the camera off doing this, I did go ahead and torque these. I'm not going to tell you the torque spec. I want you to look it up for yourself. I don't want me to misspeak. I don't want me to say foot-pounds. It should have been inch-pounds or Newton-meters. It should have been whatever. Do you look it up yourself or Guten them, however you do it. But I want it to be independently looked at. Now, before I put the tire on, if you look, this is where the rim was stuck. It was stuck here, and it was stuck all the way around this. So I'm going to get some sandpaper, and I'm going to sand this hub down just a smidge, to make it so next time I go to take it off, it'll come off easier. To prevent the rim from being stuck on here again, I lightly scuffed that with some Scotch-Brite, got all the surface rust off of there. I also did the same thing inside the rim. Really what it is the aluminum is corroding against that. It's called dissimilar metal corrosion. But when two dissimilar metals touch, sometimes they can corrode, most of the time they corrode. And that's where you get this swelling onto the hub. So I've put a little bit of grease on there. You could use anti-seize, whatever. You don't have to do anything. You could just fight with it every time. But, you know, make sure you knock over your really expensive impact ratchet while you're doing this. Look at that. I got my first damage on it. Damn it. Anyway. Need that. Do your one last check. Make sure you got everything. If you use something to suspend this with, make sure all your wires are where they're supposed to be. Nothing's clamped. Check your rotor. Rotor looks good. Pads are where they're supposed to be. Our retaining clip is where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna keep an eye on that. When I pulled this off, I assumed this has never had brakes before. Maybe it did at like 50,000, and these, I don't know. It just rolled 70,000, so I don't see why it would have had rear brakes done already. I guess it's potential that it could, but for some reason those weren't in there. Now they could have vibrated off and fell out, and in that case, hopefully Ford comes up with a fix for it. But it's really not going to cause any issues. Might cause issues for the person behind you, but clearly it was fine. It was fine for however long it had been driving in the past without them. I always like to start these all by hand. If you're the letter rip tater chip kind of person, you know, I won't judge you. I just don't want to buy the car from you. Changing wheel studs is not fun, especially on newer cars. You got to take so much apart and pound them out. I like to do it by hand. I torque them. Be good. You can run them in, just don't ooga-dooga them up against the rim, you know, especially an aluminum rim. We'll get them in there, get them snug. Can, when you're at like the next cookout you go to, you can be like, yeah, I just did my brakes. Look at them Bendix. Those Bendix. Keep the box in the car with you. Like, I got the Bendix Ultra Premium pads. Extra 300 horsepower right there. If you know, you know. Especially if it comes with a sticker. I like to snug them up with it in the air. And then I let it down just enough that the rubber is contacting the ground. So we'll do that. Now I'm going to let it down just a little bit. Hopefully just a little bit. Okay, we're touching the ground. Now you go on a star pattern. I know, some of you are saying this idiot actually torques his lug nuts. I do. I even go back over them just to check them. Let's make sure I didn't miss one while I was staring at the squirrel that's running around near us. All right, this side's done. I'll put the other side in fast forward mode just to prove to you that I did it. And also, in case there was something you missed here, you'll see it there. So, other than that, we'll catch you at the end. All right, and that just goes to show you, with a big enough hammer, you can do anything. No, just fine. Anyway, pretty straightforward actually. I've worked on a lot of Fords in my life, and this by far, other than having like the electronic parking brake thing added onto it, this has not been bad at all. Oh, I need to go take it out of service mode. Let's do that. So we're gonna go ahead and take it out of service mode. As you can see, the light's still on, it's still in service mode. I'm gonna turn on the key. It's gonna warn us. Warning, you're in service mode. Nope, no problemo. We're gonna catch a... All right, so this is the opposite, okay? You push the key to the floor, or I'm sorry, you push the gas pedal all the way to the floor, and now you're gonna pull up. And then you shut off the key, and then you turn it back on. You'll hear it do a series of it sounds like something's dying back there. That's how you know it's going good. And then you didn't get to see it because you were back there. The service mode said completed, and now it's out of service mode. Now I can do everything like normal. I can engage the parking brake. Parking brake's on. I can take the parking brake off. Oh, sorry, you gotta press the brake. That's how you do it. Thanks for watching. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, leave us a comment, let us know how your brake job went. And as always, do this stuff at your own risk and help a neighbor, and we'll catch you on the next one.